browse abandonment flow is one of the most important pre-purchase flows for an e-commerce brand. If done properly, it can be extremely profitable and bring you a ton of new customers and a lot of extra revenue. In this video I'm gonna show you exactly how to create it and what is the best high converting structure for browse abandonment flow. Now before we get into the content of the video and which structure to use for this flow, you need to make sure that you have all the settings done properly in Klaviyo, because otherwise you won't be able to trigger this flow if you don't do it correctly. So let's assume that this is your store's Klaviyo. What you need to do is you need to click on here on your store's name, then go to integrations, then click on Shopify, and then make sure that you have turned on-site tracking. So make sure that, if it was toggled off, make sure to toggle it on and then click on update settings. And once you do it, you should see metrics, viewed product, and there it is. You should be able to see it. For me, this is like a demo store, so there's no traffic, but if you have store with traffic, you should be able to see this metric populated because it just means that people are viewing products and actively visiting product pages. Okay, now that you have it set up, here is the actual flow itself. So the trigger is once again viewed product, which you need to make sure that you have your tracking correctly in Klaviyo. And then these are the flow filters to make sure that, for example, if someone enters browse abandonment flow, they are not receiving also abandoned cart flow, abandoned checkout flow, and all these other flows. You want to make sure that if someone enters one of the pre-purchase flows, they're only getting the flow for the exact stage that they're in right now. That's why we have these filters. So we don't want anyone who has started the checkout or added product to cart and placed an order and hasn't been in the flow in the last 15 days. Now, what it means is that if someone is on the product page and they click on add to cart, they won't be getting browse abandonment flow, they will be getting abandoned cart flow, which also it's not abandoned checkout flow because you need a separate trigger. But if you don't know how to do it and you want to set it up, which I highly recommend you do, because you can double your abandoned checkout flow sales. Here is my other video which shows you how to do it step by step. It won't take you more than 10 minutes. I believe it's like 8 minutes or something, so just watch it and you can easily just make more sales and recover more abandoned carts. But now that you have filters properly, let's get into how to create the high converting structure of this flow. And if you stick to the very end of the video, I'm gonna show you the exact email examples that we have done for our clients that are working pretty well. So the trigger is already covered, filters as well. Now we go into the delay for the first email. If you remember my other video about abandoned checkout and cart flow structure, you may remember that we like to split test the trigger for the first email and for the other ones too, but the first email is the most important one, and we like to test short time delay, which is 30 minutes versus long time delay, which is 2 hours. The main reason is that in some cases, people might need more time to do more research before making an informed decision and buying from you. That's why you want to give them the right amount of time and hit them at the exact moment when they're ready to buy. A lot of results from your marketing comes down to having a good timing, and that's why you need to A/B test it. The email itself is just reminding them about what they have seen. Ideally, you want to show them the product unless you're running one product store. If you're running a one product store, then it makes sense to show the actual product. It doesn't have to be dynamic section. You can just have some kind of static image or lifestyle image or whatever. But if you have a lot of SKUs, it's pretty cool to include dynamic section to show people the actual product they've seen so that they can remember it better. And then you just literally say like, hey, we've seen you checking this out. If you're interested, it's still in stock, so get it before it's too late. You can maybe list some short USPs like in bullet points, and that's it. This email has to be very short, to the point, 1 or 3 sentences in the actual email body, and that's it. For the other email, you also want to A/B test the time delay, 12 hours versus 1 day. It's mainly because in some cases, 12 hours is more aggressive, but sometimes it can work extremely well if you hit people at the right time, because email number 2 is giving them incentive and showing reviews. So by having this one email, you're already solving 2 most common objections. First one, price, and second one, does it work or will it work for me? By giving the incentive, you're giving them once again lower price, so the first objection is solved. Obviously it's gonna be free, but they will pay you less than they would normally. And then reviews. You can show either one review or 3 reviews. Usually I would suggest having one like super solid review or 3 shorter ones, but in general you want to show them social proof. Ideally, if you have a product that's covering multiple problems, you want each review to mention one specific problem, right? So let's say that you have a product that solves 3 problems. I don't know, for example, aging, skincare, and something else like weight loss, right? Like you're selling the magic pill for everything essentially. First review would be talking about aging, second review would be talking about skin issues and improving skin issues, and the third one would be talking about weight loss. That's like small tip for you. And one another tip to increase your AOV would be to include reviews that mention how many products someone bought. For example, if someone bought 3 bottles of your supplement, you want to mention a review that says, I bought 3 bottles of this supplement and I didn't expect it to work that well. And I'm glad I've bought 3 because I saved on shipping and I paid less because in this subscription, generally they have discounts, so it is extremely cool. Same goes if you have some other products, like for example, I don't know, like balls or some like a ball that you play soccer or football with, or some dog toys or anything like that. You can mention like, hey, I bought 2 of these balls for my pet, for my cat, and I'm extremely happy because she plays with both of them, and 2 of them are like each is different color. So again, this is like optional, but it's a pretty cool tip for increasing AOV. Well, then you just wait 1 day. Usually you don't want to make it longer because it's pretty quick. Like if someone won't buy during this flow for 4 days, you can either retarget them with campaigns, with your ads, or they'll just enter another flow if they move 1 step forward. So instead of, for example, viewing the product, they will start the checkout or they'll add it to cart. That's why you only want to have these 4 emails, and time delay for this one is 1 day. In email number 3, you're gonna be talking about us versus them, so showing USPs and reminding about incentive. By USPs, I mean what's making you different, why someone should buy from you instead of competitors. It's a great angle, and I mean, if you look at the structure, it's pretty similar to the abandoned checkout structure that I covered, but it's mainly because people tend to have the same objections over and over again. The messaging for this one obviously is a little bit different because they are not that close to purchase as, for example, in the abandoned checkout flow. They still haven't gone to checkout, and like, for example, you wouldn't cover anything regarding shipping in this flow, in browse development flow, but in abandoned checkout you would do it. That's why the content will be different a little bit, but angles remain the same. And if someone is just viewing the products, they tend to do research. That's why us versus them angle is so good, because you want to actually show them what makes you different and why they should buy from you instead of buying from competitors. Then once again you wait 1 day, and email number 4 is just urgency and incentive last call. So if, for example, the product they were reviewing is low in stock, you can mention that, be like, hey, this product is low in stock. If you don't buy now, it may be too late, or we may not restock it pretty quick, so make sure you check it out. And then for incentive last call, once again, if you don't shop now, the incentive is gonna expire and you will have to pay full price. So either act now or pay more later. Once again, the flow structure is pretty simple, like nothing complicated. It all comes down to execution, and here are some of the examples. As you can see, I told you about showing the dynamic sections. Obviously, it's not screenshot from Klaviyo, it's like from Adobe XD, because that's what we use for designing emails. But once again, very short header, subheader, same goes for both, right? A few sentences showing the product, few sentences, call to action. Right here is literally 2 sentences. Like, they are obviously a little bit longer, but it's nothing wrong with that. Same goes here. We have 3 sentences here, very short, to the point, that's it. And all the other structure remains the same. So icons showing USP, logo, and unsubscribe section. That was email number 1, which was, once again, just like reminding people about what they have bought. And as you can see, both of these headers with call to action would be right above default. Then we go on to email number 2, which was about incentives and reviews. Here is the example of an email with 1 review, as you can see, just trying to get 10% off, dynamic link and including the discount in the link. You can also show the discount code if you actually people need to insert it manually. But once again, you just want to have header, subheader, bottom, and then in this case it was 1 review, a little bit longer, but 1. And right there we had 3 little bit longer reviews as well, but it's working well already, so we're not like changing it, because if it works, then we don't want to break it essentially. right? And very simple, make sure you highlight the discount, and that's pretty much it for the email number 2. Then if we go to email number 3, it was once again about USPs and reminding about the incentive. So similar structure. Above default, you want to show them the first thing they see is header, subheader, and button. This is one product store, so we also show the product itself. And then just a reminder, some buttons and then USPs. You can either do sections like these, which look a little bit better, not gonna lie, where you have like, split it with images and so on, like visually more appealing. And then call to action ending the email, or you can just do simple bullet points. Show the products. We showed all the colors that this brand has, so it is not possible that someone didn't see the color they were viewing. And then reminding about the discount once again, super simple, nothing over complicated. And for email number 4, we usually like to make it plain text for first of all better deliverability, but also to stand out in the customer's inbox, because all of the previous emails were super design heavy, right? All of these. So the last ones we like to have plain text. Just simple last call, a few linked sections and headers, and that's pretty much it. Just reminding about the discount, giving the discount, and if you're on Shopify, make sure that these links automatically apply the discount. You can do it very, very easily. But yeah, I'm not gonna read them all, obviously, just you can pause the video for yourself and watch them. But in general, these work very well. So if you are having any problems with creating any of these emails, with the Angular or whatever, you might just pause the video and see how we've done it for our clients, because once again, they are working very, very well. Now, if you're interested in seeing how we helped some other e-commerce brand generate over $1.4 million in sales in just 2 months, watch this video. It's gonna show up on the screen. It's a great case study for us, and maybe you're gonna learn something from it too. But if you're running an e-commerce brand yourself and you want us to help you with e-commerce marketing, you can book a call with me using the link in the description down below. We're gonna have a quick chat, and that's pretty much it. We're gonna see how we can help you and if we are a good fit for each other. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers!